Man, what's happening, man? You got Marshawn Beast Mode Lynch,
Doug Hendrickson,
and Gavin Newsom, and you're listening to Politickin.
Chillin' on the beat. Chillin' on the beat.
Marshawn.
Hell no, Gavin, why the fuck you ain't running for president, bro?
No, we're going to get to that.
Man. I'm sorry.
Did anything happen this weekend? Anything happen in the last 48 hours, Marshawn?
Something happened.
Something happened. By the way, what have you guys been up to the last 48 hours? Doug, what the hell have you been up to?
Well, let me tell you about my week, Gavin. I've been, a couple of things. I've been drinking Aperol spritzes, watching my daughter's volleyball tournament in Hermosa Beach. By the way, beautiful part of California. Hermosa, Manhattan Beach, fantastic.
That ain't bad.
I just did a huge contract for a client, Kenny Clark of the Packers. I just flew to New York.
We love Kenny.
We love Kenny.
Good kid.
I just flew to New York for about a 4-hour meeting. Of course, JetBlue Mint lay down airlines, which is great. So I had a few cocktails in that as well. And I just got back, Marshawn. And you've been doing some Amazon football stuff, right, Marshawn?
Hell no, man. And I've been tripping, trying to figure out why I ain't seen my boy Batman running for motherfucking president. That's what I've been doing. I've been trying to figure out why dog ain't running for president.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, though. Let me tell you what I did this.
So, Gavin, how's your week going, Gavin?
Everything's great. Everything. This is normal, typical.
Couldn't be.
What?
I said couldn't be.
What do you mean couldn't be?
I mean, because in my lifetime, I don't think I never seen the president drop out like that. How old am I? I ain't seen no shit like that. And then, because it make it a little bit more spicy because I'm sitting down with possibly the motherfucker that could really go and do it, though.
By the way, I wasn't sitting down when I got the word. I was on my treadmill. I was working on the treadmill, and all of a sudden, the phone starts lighting up saying, "You've obviously seen this." And I'm like, this third person said, "You've obviously seen this." I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? So I put it down to 2. I'm walking. I think it was 4, actually. And I'm walking, and I'm like, whoa. That was the last thing I was expecting on a quiet Sunday. And then, I mean, lights out on the cell phone and all the emails and everything else.
Don't nobody give you a little, hey, check it out.
This has got 30 seconds. This is going to hit. Nothing. No heads up.
Nothing.
No.
I don't know how all that gang shit work. I just know that, you feel me, I fuck with you. So we locked in like this. And I'm like, hell yeah, I thought you was finna get in the mix.
So Gavin, did you talk to Biden on Sunday? Did President Biden call you?
Well, I feel even worse because the phone's ringing off the hook. And now voicemail's full. And I get all these text messages from the White House saying the president's trying to get in touch with me, but I didn't even see them because I had hundreds of text messages. No, so president calls, the vice president calls. I'm still in the damn gym. And I literally didn't even know that they called because the rest of my phone was lighting up. And I was just focusing on putting out a statement on behalf of the president. Marshawn, I'll tell you what's going on. People are all in now for Kamala Harris. All in. I've never seen anything like it. Let me tell you, just a few years ago, your hometown girl from Oakland, on Martin Luther King Day, she had a rally that was unbelievable. Almost 20,000 people on Martin Luther King Day announcing her campaign for president. And she raised, I remember it was like a record-breaking day for a presidential candidate. I mean, it wasn't record-breaking, but it was impressive. She raised $1.5 million in 24 hours. In the first 24 hours after the president resigned and supported Kamala, she raised $81 million just in 24 hours. Everybody lined up from myself, other governors. We had former presidents like Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton endorsing her candidacy. Now she has the delegates she needs to lock this in, including California on Sunday night. The delegation came out formally to support her. And then just yesterday, she had this unbelievable rally in Wisconsin, and it was just next level energy. She's raised significantly more money than 81 million in the first 24 hours. I've never seen the script is flipped just like that. 48 hours.
So who writing y'all script? Because they said the NFL got a script. So I'm pretty sure in the politics that y'all got a script too. So how do this script play out now?
No, this script is written by the American people, Marshawn. This script is written by people that get out there
am I considered an American citizen? Because
Yes,
nigga, I change my mind all the motherfucking time. Sometimes I want a cheeseburger, then I might want some tacos, or one day I might want me something exotic, then I might want something with a little bit of, you feel me, little kitchen in the back.
Yeah, but this is an easy choice. You don't get that. It's not 31 flavors, buddy. This is a binary choice.
Oh,
you got a guy who wants to bring us back to a pre-1960s world, or you got Kamala Harris. It's just lighting it up right now. And by the way, I will say this. I pity Donald Trump right now. He was not prepared for this to happen. He's flat-footed. I know you don't want to get in politics. I know.
Look, they really just got that blood head, though. Like, you feel me?
That wasn't right.
You feel me? Blood was ducked down and hella shit bounced up like
terrible.
Fight and hella shit. I'm like, oh, this. And then they start playing some 50 behind many men wish death upon. I said, look, I don't do the politics and all of that, but that was some. Look, I don't know.
I'm with you.
But I'm on the outside. You feel me? Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just be chilling and shit. But that was a pretty.
Nothing about that was right. Nothing was about that was right.
Ooh.
Nothing. Hey, Gavin, edify me real quick. So I've been on a plane. I've been watching CNN, MSNBC. First of all, this JD Vance guy, this guy is dangerous, man. This guy's a bad dude.
Doug, I mean this. I think if you're Donald Trump, you're stewing right now because you made a big mistake. He doubled 100%. Down on stupid, especially with Kamala now in there. They weren't prepared. He's flat-footed. He doesn't even sound like himself. These guys, I mean, you talk about a script. In this case, it is flipped. All of a sudden, Donald Trump is on the defense, just like that. Marshawn, the whole point is, after assassination attempt, nothing about that right, and was universally condemned in the Democratic Party, not just the Republican Party. There's nothing about that was right. And I reached out to his family. There was nothing about that. But I'll tell you what, it shows what in politics, man, anything can happen and happens fast. And so now this thing is a sprint. You got the convention coming up in a few weeks, but I got to tell you, it's a lightning bolt for the Democratic Party. It was filled with so much anxiety and doubt about will he or will he not continue to stay in the race. Again, with grace, I hope we have a chance to focus more on Joe Biden, but it's changed.
I'm not the sharpest. I won't even, even put myself in one of them type of categories. I'm a cool individual. You feel me? I'll kick back. You know what I mean? I politic like we doing right now.
Yes, sir.
But Gavin, I seen you in the public, bro. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? You a governor. You went, like I said, you one of them dudes and hella shit. I got a lot of respect for you. I fuck with you, my boy. But this, you feel me? This is a president, feel me? Running for president. How the fuck you let something like that even, you feel me? How you even let something like that transpire, though?
The assassination?
Yeah, that kind of got a motherfucker scratching his dome. Like,
no.
How you even get in position to go and knock somebody off like that?
No, by the way, no excuse.
People sit on in their driveway for days, weeks at a time and wait for that right move.
And we could talk about his weapon of choice and the ease of availability across the country of that weapon of choice. But no, just so you know, that the head of the Secret Service rightfully just resigned yesterday. She had bipartisan pressure to resign. To your question of how the hell can you let this happen? You can't. There's no margin for error. There's no excuse for that. And now, look, all of us, I mean, it's radically changed the way people think about everything right now. And it's sobered everybody up. And look, but it also just proves everything just flipped. You had the RNC last week. You had sort of what up until Trump's speech.
Gavin, you be saying all them words. You be saying
I know RNC. I know you're like, what the hell is he talking about?
You got to educate
AR-15. That's the damn weapon of choice.
Hey,
that's what I was referring to. That ain't right.
Now I know them.
Now you're paying attention.
Yeah. Now, okay. Look, you see I'm paying attention.
It ain't right. We're going to talk about gun safety another time. That's a huge issue. I'd understated issue. By the way, you got your own Oakland girl. Oakland through and through. Alameda County prosecutor is going to prosecute the case.
I wonder if she prosecuted my daddy.
Person of conviction running against a guy with 434 convictions. This is a moment. American history is being made in real time, Marshawn.
No, Gavin, we're fired up, bro. Look, here's the deal. We're fired up. We're behind her. We got to get that dude out of there. We got to get Vance out of there. Not a big fan. So let's get this thing rolling. We got great things in front of us next 4 months. Let's rock and roll, Marshawn. Tag and drag, baby.
Tag it, Dre. By the way, we also have something in front of us today, and that's Draymond Green, man, our first official interview on this podcast, Draymond. And that was a hell of an interview. People are going to enjoy this one.
Yes, we do.
A hell of an interview.
Yes. Draymond Green is one of the best. Him and Marshawn go way back along with myself. And it's a great, great interview. People got to listen. It's informative. It's powerful.
Do you know why it's powerful and informative? You listen, you've never heard Marshawn Lynch and Draymond Green be this damn honest. This is next level. I'm telling you, this is a powerful, powerful and important interview.
Hey, Gavin, here's a true story. Marshawn might remember this. One of the most powerful moments Marshawn got to me was actually, ironically, in Draymond's hometown of Saginaw at 3 a.m. outside of a White Castle during a camp out there in 2008. And Marshawn got at me. He's like, hey, we need to talk. It was 3 a.m. I'm like tired, want to go back to my hotel. And we ended up talking until 5:45 a.m., literally. And remember that, Marshawn?
They call them loaded nights.
Draymond's hometown. And next up is Draymond Green. We want to welcome the 4-time NBA champ.
Oh, geez. I thought it was 5.
No,
it was almost 5.
I wish it was 5.
We'll get to that story a little later on, Marshawn. But 4-time NBA champ, 2-time gold medalist, one of the baddest NBA players of all time, great father, great husband, great person, Draymond Green. Welcome to Politickin, and also Draymond Green with the Draymond Green Show, which is one of the best podcasts in the country.
Legit.
Thank you for joining us, Draymond. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. No, I thank y'all for having me on. I'm super excited to be on. I think this is going to create some great memories for us all who are in the podcast space, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
By the way, how the hell, what was your inspiration for jumping right into the podcast world?
You know what? It's a funny thing, and like you probably still can look it up as all this stuff lives forever. I tried a podcast before. It was called Dre Day. And it had to be one of the biggest failures, one of the worst things I've ever done in my life. And when I did it, I don't know, I probably did maybe 5 or 6 episodes. And in my mind, I'm like, I need to go on there. I need to say something so everybody get upset and break the internet. And like, I was just on there going for hot takes. It was pathetic. And so I stopped. And however, I knew that it was something that I would want to get back into, because what I did enjoy about the podcast space is like, sometimes I think I have some great answers, but they can get a little long-winded. And in an interview, that's very hard to do. So I'm like, I can get on a podcast and riff. So I was like, all right, when I get it back into it, it's got to be great. I've had my one shot at it that's been a failure. If I mess it up this time, like I can't get back in. So I just wanted to get back into it so I can kind of give more long-winded answers and kind of carry a conversation throughout, as opposed to kind of these choppy things that we get when we're doing interviews.
It's interesting. But I guess the difference for you is you're doing it, the highs and the lows in the middle of the damn season, the playoffs, championship runs. And so you're generating tons of content and a lot of energy, a lot of risk in that, right?
And there's a ton of risk in it. And you know, when I first started the podcast, ironically, I started in maybe November of 2021, which for us is the beginning of what was our last championship season. And everybody's like, hey, man, you can't podcast. How dare you podcast and play the game? You should be in the gym. And I just look at it like, well, I've been in the gym, so what should I do with these 21 other hours of the day that I'm not in the gym? Mm-hmm. Is it maybe okay for me to podcast a little bit there? And so that was kind of the talk. And before you know it, sports media television, they're like, oh, he's podcasting, he's focused on this. The fans, he's podcasting, he's focused on this. And then the podcast started to become a focal point of conversation. Yeah. And so it was motivating for me, like, you know what, I got to play great, because they're going to try to use this thing. And we ended up winning the championship. So what I'll tell you, Gavin, is this. You get ready, my friend, because they're going to come at you. They're going to say you're not running the state. Right. You're not doing your job. We need a new governor. How is he sitting here doing the podcast?
What, are you reading all the clips, man?
Oh, listen,
It's
I
already
know it's
happened.
coming. Guess what? And quite frankly, 1 hour out of your day, I don't think is changing anything. So I want to tell you good luck, but also good luck with hearing these people talk, all the things that they're going to have to say that are baseless claims, but it's coming. So get ready for it.
Marshawn, none of that,
so
right?
basically, you on some like, hey, shut the fuck up, though. You know what I mean? That's kind of like, hey, shut the fuck up, and you know what I mean? Do your shit. You know what I'm talking about? And
That's exactly what it, that's what it has to be.
And telling you, you know what I mean, you need to be out there babysitting your badass kids, though. You know what I'm talking about? Let's talk about that type shit, though. You feel?
And listen, that's how I looked at it. Like, look, I'm doing pretty well in my life. Like I've overcome a lot of adversity. I have a pretty nice salary, one would think. And you'd have like people like, yo, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. And so then you click on like their Instagram profile, and it's like, no disrespect to the common folk, but like if you can do something else with your hour in the day, why can't I do something else with my hour in the day? Like,
Because you're not human.
Yeah, like that's crazy though. Like if you look at my life and your life, like most people would then say, I probably have the extra hour to do something, but they want to tell me that I should spend that extra hour in the gym. I don't know. It's a very interesting
Well, Dre,
thing.
people are sick.
But,
I remember like Christian McCaffrey got married a couple weeks ago, okay? And his wife had this wedding dress on. And I read something, there was like over 500,000 comments about the dress. And I'm like, this fucking guy gets married, okay, happiest day of their life, and people are ripping on a wedding dress. These are sick fucking people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what is going on with our country?
If she wants to walk out there without any dress on, it's their wedding.
Amen.
Why does it matter to you?
You talking about
like we just need to get back to a place where people do what the hell they want to do and worry about what it is that they do, and let me do what I do and worry about what it is that I do.
Amen. Well, Draymond, let me tell you, let me as you know, I met you back in 2006. My client, Lamar Woodley, Saginaw, Sag Nasty, right, Marshawn? By the way, Marshawn loves Saginaw, Draymond. You know that.
Marshawn is basically a hometown hero in Saginaw.
Man, you already know what's up. We gonna hit that chicken spot, that you know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
And we gonna fuck with it, man. Sag Nasty, what's up, man?
So, Gavin, no bullshit. I met him. One of my clients grew up with Draymond, and I never forget, Draymond gets drafted for the Warriors. And me, him, Marshawn, and Lamar were hanging out quite a bit. And what struck me about Draymond early back then was him and Marshawn are the same people. They don't give a shit. They do their own thing. They don't listen to people in terms of conforming. And you've always done that, Draymond. I appreciate how you've lived your life, because you and Marshawn, as you know, are very similar, and you guys are like family. And you've done it the same way. Yeah. And you're both going to go in the Hall of Fame as two of the best icons of all time. And everybody, athletes around the world, marvel at you and Marshawn because they all want to do what you guys do, but they can't do it. And so I appreciate what you've done in your career and how you've done it, because it's real and it's raw and it's really impressive.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. You know, and the reality is, I think we both go about things our own way, but in no way, shape, or form is it a hindrance to someone else. I think, you know, in living our lives the way we live our lives and carrying ourselves the way we carry ourselves, one thing that I think allows us to both do that is we both have a brain. Like Marshawn, the thing that they don't say is Marshawn went to Cal Berkeley. Like, no.
I didn't get into Cal, Draymond. I didn't get into Cal.
I couldn't. I think I'm a pretty smart guy. I couldn't have come close to getting into Cal. You know, but nonetheless, I think we both have a good sense of who we are. I think, and more importantly, I think we both come from great mothers. I know his mother really well. I call her Mama
Green. Let's hand in.
She actually sitting right outside.
Yeah, I'm finna blast her line. Tell her don't trip. I know I missed it this Mother's Day, but you know it's coming. That's my baby too. You feel me? Shout out my baby.
Absolutely.
You should have told her to get in here and give me one of them, what's it called? Air hugs or what, some of that going on the media shit. But no, realistically though, bro, I think what it is really fucking simple. We just comfortable in our skin. You know what I mean? A lot of people, you feel me, they I feel that they lack that, or they not accepting to, you only get one of you. And I mean, you just got to maximize that motherfucker. And I think, you feel me, in your situation, I think that's exactly what you're doing. You're not living your life for nobody else, because once that motherfucking casket drop, you feel me, though, that's it. And to live your life for the acceptance of somebody who probably wouldn't give a fuck about you, it kind of just don't make no sense to me. Mm-hmm. And then what I heard was common sense ain't common. But from my understanding, it's like, why would I live to get you to accept me, bro? Or get you to accept me? Because at the end of the day, when that motherfucker, like I said, when that motherfucker drop, it's cookies. So I'm going to enjoy this motherfucker while I'm living. And you know what? I love to be me. I love that shit.
Yes, you do, Marshawn.
You feel me? So,
Absolutely.
You could be in the cut, you know what I mean, peeping you and shit. And I hear a lot of people with a lot of foul shit to say about you and all the shit. And I'm just like, damn, you feel me? Like, at the end of the day, how they rocking or, their opinions. And now that, social media has gave the platform to anybody to have their opinion and speak on, what they feel or, and motherfuckers take that shit to heart. But, when I look at it, and I'm like, damn, look at my son, don't give a fuck about what nobody, got to say about it. He living his life the way that he want to, like, for any young athlete, coming up in the game, fuck athlete, for any young person coming up, like, just to be comfortable and accept who you are, like, it's no feeling more satisfying than looking in the mirror and just like, damn, bro, like, I love you. Like, when I look in the mirror and I love you, like, that's a great-ass feeling.
I love it.
You know what I mean? I don't need no acceptance from no other person to make me feel loved. Now, if you love me and you give me love, now that's extra and that's off the strength. But that love from yourself, that shit's so genuine. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I see that you got that. And that shit is, it's a proud thing. And then, like you said, two upstanding young women, our mothers, like, I just know for a fact, like, raising boys in America, you feel me? Like, that shit is so important to instill in us. And I believe, like you said, they did a great-ass job doing that. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Man, you got to tell Mom to come on here and show her face, man, say what's happening.
Hey, Draymond, let me ask you a question. As you know, I've been an agent 30 years now, and you preach to these young kids about things and whatnot. You're a Hall of Famer. Marshawn's going to be a Hall of Famer. What if you had to do it all over again? Forget about, like, eating food, right, and working out more and sleep and whatnot. What would you've done differently or thought differently in terms of whether it be family, friends, businesses, whatever it may be, if you could do it, if you could get drafted again tomorrow?
Play football.
By the way, Draymond, Draymond loves football now. Trust me. He might be a tight end or DN. He could have been a DN in this league.
I absolutely love football. I was a pretty good DN. I think I was better at DN than I was at tight end, although I was a decent tight end in my day. But I stopped early. I stopped after freshman year. I was going through a growth spurt, a 7-inch growth spurt over the course of like 3.5 months. But I had no idea. So after football season, my knees were hurting so bad I could barely run up and down the court for basketball tryouts. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, they were chopping me down so bad that they're killing my knees for basketball. I got to stop. I went from 5'11" to this height that I am today from in between September, but you figure, November of basketball season started in December. So you figure November of 2004, by March 2005, I was this height from 5'11". And so I was having crazy knee issues and I stopped. Nonetheless, I got a lot of respect for football players. And as tough as I think I am, I don't know if I'm that tough.
Nah, hell no. Because even if you ask any hoopers right now, they go say, man, Draymond play hoop like he a football player. And you feel me? We out there, you feel me? I probably every NFL player favorite hooper. Because we like, he play like how they used to play, like, bro, really out there mobbing on shit. You feel me? Like, bro ain't taking no, bruh slide on your ass on the hoop court for sure. You feel what I'm saying? Like, straight up, like, don't come in here with none of that weak ass shit, bro. Don't, you feel me? Because it ain't that type of time over here, bro. If you gonna come in here, you gotta come in here the right way, bro. And don't be hella soft, because I'm gonna tune your ass up quick. You feel me? But the thing is, what I like about it is the way that you play the game, bro. I see you putting that to how you live your life. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You go hard, you know what I mean, with the family, you feel me though? You go hard with that shit and your business ventures and like realistically, like you the same that you is on the court. That you is, you feel me though, in your everyday walk in life. And I mean that shit show, bruh. That shit showing. I ain't gonna like be proud though. You feel me? I mean, we ain't too far off in age, and like Doug was, you know what I mean, always strolling down memory lane. You know what I'm talking about? Remember meeting you in Saginaw? You as a youngster, Lamar like, yeah, this Marshawn Lynch, woo woo. And you feel me, Lamar, my dog. You feel me though? But you know what I mean. As soon as we done clicked, we was on, we was rocking. Like, absolutely. Yeah, this bruh. And then when you get drafted to the, you come to the Warriors, you feel me? Like, oh, yeah, man. Oh, and my little, oh, man, come on. You feel me? And then, you feel me? Like, on some real shit, though. Like, you feel me, though? A lot of people get into a position where, they go to the league and then, they might, forget their roots or whatever. You was popping out to the hood. You feel what I'm saying, though? You pull up in the ice on me. We was talking about when I had came back to the Raiders. Nigga, we did the little barbecue on the U. You feel me though? And I remember my little cousin just sitting there stuck like, that's Draymond Green. Like, yeah, go say what's up. Little cousin, he showed me that picture every time I pull up on him. But I'm like, you feel what I'm saying though? Like, you pop out to the hood, like, man, what's happening? I'm not saying it like I'm glorifying it or whatever, but I mean, just to me, it was like you come back to where you feel comfortable at. Mm-hmm.
100%. I've always told everybody, like, for me, I never, like, if you would have asked me when I was going through the draft process, like, I'm a kid from Saginaw, Michigan, went to Michigan State. First 22 years of my life, I never left the state of Michigan, obviously to travel, but I was in the state of Michigan for 22 years. If you would have asked me, like, any team where I was going to get drafted, the absolute last place I would have told you was, I don't think I'm going to get drafted anywhere in the state of California. Like, the state of California, to me, sounded just so far away from home, like so far out of reach. And I'm like, I don't think I would get drafted to the state of California. Now, not only do I get drafted to the state of California, but you start talking about, like, destiny and, like, how your life shape up. But I get drafted to the Golden State Warriors in Oakland, California. I get to Oakland, I feel like I'm in Saginaw.
Look, a home away from home, my boy.
Like, I get there, and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm at home. I'm comfortable, right? Like, I can be me. Like, this is who I am to my core. Like, it's cool being me. Oakland understood me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the city of Oakland understand me. Like, it's great. And when I look at how it all played out, like, for me to be drafted to that place, like, I couldn't have asked for a better situation. Obviously, the way basketball played out, we all know. But for me to be drafted to that particular place at that time in my life, it set me up for success, because it set me up to be exactly who I've been, exactly who I am. And no matter what, nobody could change that. And to do it in a place like that, it just gave me more comfort.
Yes. Golden State. Did you hear that? The Golden State Warriors. Hey, I want to go back a little bit. Marshawn was saying just about being yourself, be authentic. But you commented about, when you tried that first podcast and you were trying to be something you're not. We're just societally dealing with so much stress and anxiety. People put a mask on and their face grows into it, meaning they become how people think they should behave. It's so resonant what Marshawn was just saying about being your authentic self and just bringing that every day and loving on yourself, but not in a sort of, not in a way that's braggadocious, not in a way that's narcissistic, but just bringing truly yourself in everything you do. Does that resonate with you, what Marshawn just said?
You can't say braggadocious.
What the hell I said? I don't even know what you got. Marshawn tells me what I can't say, man. Do you see how this is going?
Batman, you can't say braggadocious.
I can't even. I got another word I can't say as well, which we'll talk about later. But seriously, does that resonate with you? Is that something that is that true? Is he not full of shit?
100%. No, it's 100% true, and I can trace back in my life to exactly where that came from. Anytime I ever did something wrong, no matter what it was, it could be from jumping off the banister or the porch to getting in trouble in school to getting kicked out of the recreation center. Like, no matter what it would be, my mom would say one thing to me: be a leader, be a leader, be a leader. Why are you being a follower? Be a leader. Be a leader, be a leader. That's all I ever heard. And when she would say it, she'd be like, golly, like, stop telling me the same thing over and over. Like, what does that have to do with anything? But what she was teaching me was that very thing of being comfortable, like lead, be comfortable with who you are. Someone will follow you if you just lead. You don't have to follow those dumb things, because that's not who you are. Like, I know the kid that I'm raising. Like, that's not who you are. And that, hearing that on a daily, every single day, like, I had no choice but to be who I am, because the moment that I wasn't, it's like, no, that's not you. Like, I know who you are. That isn't you, right? And growing, and as I continued to grow and understand what she was saying, then it all started to come together for me. But then you go through so many trials and different things for being who you are, because someone wants you to conform, someone wants you to be this. And I would just say, like, I just feel like I'm much better at being me than I'd be at trying to be someone else. Like, I think I do a much better job of being exactly who I am than I could ever do being someone.
So hold on, hey, Dada, correct me if I'm wrong. You had some you had to conform to though, at the same time though, because from what I know that you didn't speak on is when you was getting into that shit, you know you had something to answer to, and that was one of them ass whoopings from mama that I'm damn near pushing 40 that, you feel me? I still got that fear of my mama when she, you feel me, though, get that tone in her voice. Like, I don't give a fuck how old you is. You hear that tone in mama voice, you know it's like, oh yeah, okay, I better straighten my shit up. Like, you feel me though? Moms had that, you feel me though? They pump that that fear in you that make your ass straighten up.
Yep.
You know
That's
what I mean?
fact.
That shit
I'm still to this day, like, I tell people all the time, to this day, I am terrified of my mom.
Oh,
like,
God.
It does not matter. There's nothing that can
God.
change that. Like, no matter what it is that she say to me, like, still to this very day, like, I still live my life. She actually just walked in here. I still live my life based on, like, what I think she's gonna say if I do this. Like, there she is.
Hey, mama.
Ah, what's up, lady?
What?
That's Gavin, that's Doug.
Hi,
How you
Gavin.
doing, mama?
there. Marshawn's loving on you.
Look, I got my tall son over there, and then I got my two white kids over here. So I'm, you know what I mean? Papa was a Rolling Stone, so I'm just doing the introducing. You know what I mean? Got kids over there, got kids over here, and I'm trying to bring them all together. I'm trying to grow into that father figure that I should have been, back then. But it's all coming together now.
Hey, Draymond, let me ask you a question that I think a lot of people don't know the whole story to. So going back to 16, Cleveland, you get kicked out, okay? Come back to the town for the game. and you end up obviously can't go to the game, and you end up with Bob Myers, our great friend and your former GM and family, at the suite at the Coliseum. So what I want to know is, how did Marshawn get there? And if that whole game was filmed and audio tape, how great an epic moment would that tape be to play back 20, 30 years from now in terms of what you guys were talking about?
Doug, if I only knew what I knew today back then, I like there should have been cameras rolling all because that footage was absolutely insane. So I get kicked out. I get kicked out of the game. Well, I don't get kicked out of the game. Quite frankly, I don't get kicked out because I didn't make contact, so you couldn't kick me out. But whatever. I then get suspended for a game for a punch that didn't land. But whatever.
Allegedly.
We come back to Oakland, and I can't play. I can't be at the arena. However, it's 3-1. So I'm like, well, at the time, I'm living in Berkeley Hills at the time. And so I can't make it from home to the arena when we win this championship. So I'm like, I need to be close by. The A's were having a game. Bob was like, listen, you could watch the game at the A's stadium in the suite. So I'm like, oh, that's great. I had on all black. I had my route that I was taking through the arena down. I was going to walk right past the Cavs while they was crying in my all black, and it never happened. But so fast forward, Bob sits in the suite with me, and Marshawn comes and sits in the suite the entire time. He called me, and he's like, "Yo, where you watching the game at?" I'm like, "I'm watching the games at the A's at the stadium next door, at the A's baseball game." He came and watched it with me. And again, if we could have had a tape rolling, a camera rolling during that time, I mean, what an amazing time! Like, footage that could have been captured. Obviously, I wish we would have won. But, man, I look back on those times now, and, like, you remember those people. Like, I remember them being there with me. I can tell you everybody who was sitting in that suite, because it was such like we had these turning points in life, like these moments where you can turn to it, like that moment did this, and like that was one of those huge moments for me.
And this was on the heels of Marshawn not getting the ball of the Super Bowl before, right? So he's dealing with what he dealt with the year before. Now you're sitting at the A Stadium going, holy shit, whatever. And so you guys are commiserating together. But you're right, that footage would have been some of the most iconic stuff of all time.
One thing's for certain, Doug, Hill the real. They ain't want them real. We're too real to be the Super Bowl MVP and the Finals MVP back to back. Hill the real. It's a little challenging.
Man, I
two
think
real ones like that as MVPs of these leagues.
Oh shit,
that's a little challenging.
Were you
right
saying
there,
it's
Doug.
rigged? Was it rigged? Do you think it was set up?
I would never say it's rigged, because I don't believe it's rigged. I think the integrity. I appreciate the integrity that the NBA does hold, and the NFL. But I do think, like, as human beings, like, these aren't machines making these decisions, right? So it's not no decision ever made in NBA history, in NFL history, is black and white, right? Because you can't go to a rule book and say, if Draymond gets into a fight, he's suspended for X amount of games. There is no rule. There is no number. That number is then decided by human beings.
You're right.
And so I don't think it's rigged. In just doing this for the last 12 years, I know how these outcomes work. I don't think any of it's rigged. But I do think as human beings, like, you're going to be swayed one way or the other. By whatever you're swayed by, if someone called me right now and said, yo, Draymond should be suspended because of da-da-da. And then someone else called me and said, Draymond should be suspended, da-da-da. I don't know their reasoning for why they think Draymond should be suspended. But what I do know is that I hear them constantly in my ear telling me that Draymond should be suspended. So I could be swayed by that. So it's not necessarily that I'm swayed by, yo, if Draymond, if they win this game, Draymond wins the Finals MVP. I don't necessarily think that, by the way. But that person on the phone calling, trying to persuade you, can be thinking that. You know what I'm saying? And so I do think that the decision could have been swayed by anything, because it's not black and white. It's not like this thing happens and it's over with. It's a human being that's watching things, that's listening to things, that are reading things, and all of those things can sway your decision.
Too much real shit going on at one time.
What do you say? The guy was facing $1.2 million of fines in the Super Bowl?
I'm just saying.
Is that where that comes from?
Oh, man, now look, now that's different.
But I don't know if it's that different. Draymond's been facing fines, suspensions. One thing you guys have in common as well a little bit.
Yeah, so that's
100%. I've listen, $1.2 million in fines I'll kill for. I think I've been fined $2.5 million up to this point, possibly more.
Oh, jeez.
Shit.
No,
so, that's just how the connection go. I mean, I go to his home state, and there's love. He come to mine. There's love, and then we could sit down and politic over some bullshit fines. You know what I mean? Then we got that in common. Then holding up that trophy. Well, I didn't get to hold mine up, but holding up that trophy at the end of the season, crowned as champions, and then you feel me though. Outside of that, our everyday walk, being comfortable in your own skin. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's a lot of common similarities that that we share, which is why you feel me though. Even if we don't talk, we could not talk for the shit. It could be years on out. But then as soon as we click back up, it's like, shit, we was just with each other yesterday. That's you know what I mean? When you building and you grinding, that's what that shit is about, man. You feel what I'm saying? That's well, you can't say that. You can't say that either. But that's real shit. You feel what I'm saying? That, man, hell yeah. Wait.
Which is a terrible segue. Draymond, a couple years ago, Doug, I think we were with Draymond in game 5, I think, of the finals in 2022. We came back to say hello. You guys are running in. You do what you always do, which is you immediately stopped, came over, said hello to us, and we were bullshitting. You guys just won the game. You're going back to Boston for game 6, which you won. And we were like, great game, all this bullshit. And then you just randomly, I don't know if you remember this, you say, man, you're like, I'm not looking forward to going back to Boston. I said, what the hell? He goes, it was next level. I deal with shit all the time. People saying F this and you, but that crowd and the N-word, and you said it got in your head. I think it was game 3.
Gavin, that was too close.
I know. That's as close as it will ever get. That was close as it will ever get. But you, it was interesting. It was like a vulnerability that I'd never seen in you. For all the bravado, all the BS, you just had a great game. You guys crushed it. I think Wiggins had a ridiculous game that game. You guys were on high. It was inevitable you were going to win game 6. But you were like hurt by that.
I was. I think I've been booed in just about every arena. It happens. A part of my sick mind, I love it. It gets me going. Like, sometimes I run out. Every now and then I will catch an arena where I run out and either the crowd missed them calling my name, or maybe they don't hate me as much as the next place. But every now and then I run out and I don't get booed. And it is like the weirdest thing. It's like a thing in our huddle. If I run out and I don't get booed, everybody like, yo, what's going on here?
What kind of game we gonna have?
Like, what is this? Like, so I'm like, that's what happens. It's been happening my entire career. When we got to Boston, I had never heard, like, Cleveland, you can imagine getting suspended for trying to hit Bron. Like, Cleveland, they are drunk, loud, raunchy. Like, Boston was that times 1,000 on steroids. Like, I couldn't believe it. The things that they were saying, like how they were saying, like you could hear the hatred, like running down the sideline and the way someone would say something to me. Yeah. Like, you could hear, like, it was almost giving me like, wow, you really want to do something else to me. Like, if you could, and I wasn't running up and down this basketball court, you be willing to take this as far as you can take it. Like, I'm getting that feeling running down the court. And then, by the way, every time there's an opportunity, there's a break in the moment, it is the loudest chants of "fuck you, Draymond" ever. And then those chants, like, as the game start back and I take off running down the court, the "fuck you, Draymond" chants go away. But now the jabs from the sideline, from the court side, from people right behind course, now all those jabs are coming in. And it's N-word, it's the B-word, it's like everything you can imagine. I'm just like, yo, this is nuts. So game 3, it threw me off. It's like, whoa. Game 4, I got benched. I haven't been benched since I started playing. I get benched in game 4. Steve Kerr starts going offense to defense sub. I'm like so out of it. Yeah. In game 4, I'm a little bit better, but man, I'm gone. There's a play, and Steph, I caught the ball out of a trap, and I'm like, this is game 4. I caught the ball out of a trap. There's not really anybody in front of me. I don't even look at the rim. I just turn back and look for Steph again. And Steph come flying out of nowhere. I hit him on the right wing. He hit a big 3. It was a dagger 3. But like, I was so mentally gone, I didn't know what to do with the basketball. I was just like, here, like, take it. And
with that thing.
And at that point, by the way, because I'm going offense to defense, so my confidence offensively is shot. Like, you're now taking me out of the game on offense and only putting me back in for defense.
And was this the only game?
So then I catch the ball.
Was this the only game you've been screwed up like this?
Toast.
Yeah, okay.
Like gone. And so we win game 4, and I literally went up to Steph after the game and was like, yo, thank you. I got you. Like,
respect.
I got you in game 5, and then we're going to come back here in game 6, and these boys done. And that's exactly what happened. But, man, I was gone. There was no better feeling than the way I bounced back in game 6.
Oh, yeah.
And watching their fans, some of them walk out the arena, and watching some of them sit there in disgust, watching us celebrate the championship on their floor.
Marshawn, you ever had that experience with, at that level, the crowds, that just got in your head in a different way?
Oh, no, not with the crowd. No, I'll say it's a little different, considering, the distance from the crowd to the field. And then, you know how I'm locked in. And then even if it was a situation where I did. In Buffalo, we were playing in Philly, and one of the fans told me, "Hey, fuck you, you black motherfucker. Go get back in your fucking car and go and hit somebody." It's like, what the fuck is going? Like, you know what I mean? That was the closest to something I had like that. But
Draymond, it got so bad for Marsh. I don't know if you know the story back from Marshawn in Buffalo. Like, his second year there, he would literally be in the players' parking lot, okay? And tinted windows, music playing loud. The cops would pull him over when he left the players' parking lot and give him a ticket for tinted windows and the music being too loud. Yeah, this started happening. So Marshawn, so I'm like, you know what? If I don't get him out of Buffalo, he may not ever get out of Buffalo. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, his career may be done.
Yeah,
they would follow him home. All these different things. I at one point, I yelled at a cop. I publicly said a cop in Buffalo was a racist rogue cop, and this cop sued me for basically calling him out for defamation. Luckily, I found out he didn't pay his taxes.
Oh, man.
And I got
wow.
And my lawsuit was dismissed.
Yeah, so we got
but
rid
it
of
got
that.
That's
bad.
high level work right there.
Yeah, but it got bad in Buffalo for him.
He was doing his agent shit at that time.
Yes, I
was.
was.
But real talk though, bro. Like, with all that shit going on, and just the story you just tell her. How you doing mentally though, bro? Like, with everything going on for the position that you in right now, just realistically, like, aside from, everything of what the public know, or that you might post or you might put out there, How you doing mentally though?
I'm in a great space, man. I'm doing great, but boy, last year was one of the hardest years of my life. And it really took me to a real fucked up space mentally. It is like in going through everything that I went through last year, I think it took me to such a bad space because basketball is one thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm honest, I mean, you know me well. The person that I am when I'm competing is not the same person that I am on a daily basis.
Right.
I can be that person at any time, right? Like, you can push me to that point, but I'm way more calm on a day-to-day basis than I am on the basketball court.
Right.
Like, I'm competing, like it wake up a totally different beast. And so, but regardless of who I am on the basketball court or whatever, the things that people started to question and say about me that was affecting people around me really started to get to me. Like, you can say what you want about me, that's fine. I've heard these things for years on end of the things that people had to say and their thoughts about me. I can deal with those. But when this starts to affect people around me, and in particular my children, like some of the things that my kids will like come home and ask me or say to me that's been asked to them or said to them at school is kind of like, damn, like that started to tear me down. You know, that started to really bog me down mentally. I started going to, like, I really started taking therapy, like going to therapy. And it was a very interesting thing for me because I tried it once before, but I tried it on a very specific thing that I was dealing with. You know, like I was dealing with this specific thing, and I'm like, man, I need to get some help with that. Like, so let me try this. Because I would always, it's crazy because every year, the league, our league, they do these, where they come out, they talk about mental health, they'll introduce like the team psychologists and all these things. I always say, like, a lot of the things that they do, though, like the financial things, just check the box. And there's no real, like, commitment to you should do this or you should do that on most of those things. And so, but however, when the guy would come speak every year, Steph and I would kind of lead out, and Steph would share his experience or not, that he's had or not. And I share my experience that I had or not. And my experience would always be, man, fellas, I know I need to do this, but I'm scared. And so I'm really telling y'all this because I'm afraid of it. And if I tell y'all that I'm afraid, this may be the thing to push me to go do it, right? And nope, I'd still be afraid and not do it. So finally, I was like, you know what? I have this very specific thing that I'm dealing with. Let me see where this can get me. And I started taking therapy to deal with it, and it got better for me. Like, I was able to talk through it and work myself through it. And so I'm like, man, that's interesting. Nope, still not enough to get me to where I need to go, because the issue that I really need to go for, I think is so deep, and I'm not ready to face it yet. Because the thing with it is, like, when you go to therapy, you can uncover some things. You can't just leave those things there. You got to deal with those things now. So I'd be afraid. And so afraid that I'm like, nope, I'm still not ready to do that. And I pulled away from it. And then once I start going through this, I'm like, you know what? I need to do that. But not only do I need to do it to deal with this thing, I'm finally at a place now to where I'm ready to confront those things that I need to confront. Because, by the way, those things could be driving me back to the same spot I keep on ending up in. And man, that was such a great time for me, because it was like, let's see, December. It was, I mean, I didn't play basketball for a month and a half, and I didn't, like, do anything basketball-wise, work out, like be on the schedule for like 3 to 4 weeks. And it was great for me because it allowed me to settle back into just being Draymond, not the pressures of going to work out, not the pressures of a schedule. I got to be there tomorrow. I got to be here. It allowed me to lock back into me, focus on the things that I need to focus on, start the process that I needed to start, the things that I needed to work through. And man, it was and has been, not because it continues, but it's been such a powerful space for me because, and as you know, in our neighborhoods, we're taught that those things are for soft people. Like that, if you do that, that you're weak-minded and you should be able to push through these things. But the reality is, these things that we're pushing through is killing us. And yeah, I can push through it all I want, and I can be tough all I want, and I can look like to you that all of it's bouncing off of me and I'm just running through it. But the reality is, what it's doing to me on the inside is like really tearing me down, and it's not allowing me to be my best self, not only for myself, but for those that I know depend on me to be my best self. And I am also someone that even if you don't depend on me to help you be your best self, I think I have a way about me of helping you be your best self in a way that you didn't really notice you needed. And I wasn't able to fulfill that in my life, and that was bothering me. And so it's been an incredible journey. It's very interesting because I used to have these conversations with my mom on like, man, like, why is mental health being pushed and all of these things? And it's crazy because to get to that space and actually go through it, like for her to even be like, you know, for my mom to even look at it and be like, start asking questions. Well, what about this? Or how does this work? How does that work? And it's like, wow, like now we're talking about if I can change her, and we start talking about changing generations, that's the real change we need. And because in order to change the generation after us, it's also our responsibility to change the generation before us. And so that's been that's like, I haven't been extremely outspoken about it because to me, it's a very personal journey, and it's personal to me and to those that I am close to. And so I'm like, I got very long-winded, but I started that to say, I'm in a great space mentally, but I didn't work. I work really hard to be here.
Brother, thanks for sharing that, man. That's next level. That really, thank you. Seriously. I mean, you have no idea how resonant that is with so many folks. And to hear a guy like you be that honest, man, that's going to make a real difference. So I really appreciate that.
No problem.
No, so look, this 12 for you, right? Going into 13?
I'm going into 13.
Going into 13. So look, you know, with basketball, you know, you play for shit till you damn near 50 for how Brown going. But look, one of the things, you feel me, though, as I just heard you speak, like, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I mean, being, you know, in my position, shit, retiring from the league, 2-3 times or whatever, how many times it is. When I got to that point, you know, I felt institutionalized, right? So after the first time I had retired, when I had this time to myself and it was on me to make a schedule, I was clueless because I was, you know what I mean, I'm used to, you know, at this point in time, I got to do this. At this point in time, I got to get ready to go and, you know, get ready for OTAs or mini camp or whatever. And, you know what I mean, realistically, what I did was, you know what I mean, I shortchanged myself, you know, by being in the league, just not preparing myself for what, you know, comes after that. So if it was be anything that I would give to, you know, younger players, it would be, don't take this time while you're in the league to understand how to schedule a time for yourself for a day, because that shit was so hard for me, bruh. And when you talk about, you know, the mental aspect of everything and how that shit started to weigh on you and how it started to tear you down, like I could not plan a day for myself. So when I went back to the Raiders, you know, I took an opportunity to learn some shit about myself in order to schedule, you know what I mean, times for me to do certain things, or, you know what I mean, just just to go through the day, as a person, because we've been, like I said, institutionalized. So if it's something that I would give, that I would give to you is not to take for granted, the opportunity that you have right now at your fingertips for, when you're done. But it's something that you are doing right now that I think, you are, 10 steps ahead of the game, because you are actually, doing something that's going to set you up for when you're done. You'll fall into, and you got a like a rhythm of something that you could get into. But learning how to schedule your day out as just as a human, which I feel a lot of guys who, retire from the game because they all believe that, I'm gonna do this shit for forever, and that's not the reality of what it is that we in. So if, like I said, if it's something that I could get to, like, take the scheduling that you got right now and think about how you can apply that to your everyday life, because that shit get, 10 times hard. Like, my life outside of the league is so much different and so much harder, because it's not that I got to go be accountable for something that got something to do with the team, but this is something that I got to be accountable for my life and growing. Like, all of that shit matter, bro. So, like I said, as far as, like, the meetings, the nutrition, the fucking the workouts, the study time, the whole situation, like, start in your mind to start to plan something that you'll be able to take away from the game, that you could be able to implement into your life for when you're done. And I believe that, any player that has the opportunity to play for a professional team, like, to take that and learn how to implement that in your everyday life, bro. And I think, like, a lot of the mental issues that we have, professional athletes have for after they done, I think that's how you can counteract, all of the shit that's going on. Because, you talk about the financial literacy when they come in. I can remember going to meetings and, all the young dudes, they only stay in this meeting because they know at the end of it we get the Madden checks. But along the time, you feel me, they giving ism on, financial literacy, health, things that you do to help your health, just to keep your mind right. And nobody was paying attention to that shit. And I was one of those guys that would just sit in that meeting on some shit that just, like, I don't want to walk out. They giving some information, they giving some ism. I want to try to, at least, if I could sit in this meeting, for an hour or two, to get something that's gonna help me in life, because I was one of them players who, I ain't gonna be able to do this for the remainder time of my life, but what I'm gonna be able to take from it. And even though I did stand on it, I still felt like I shortchanged myself by not, implementing all those small things that we take for granted. So it's just them little shits that I believe that, we should really focus on and pay attention to in order to help us to get, outside of our mind. Because one thing I know is about professional athletes, like, once we get in our head and it's not for the right reasons, then we have those situations to what we were just talking about, where, the smallest things like crowd noise, we know that shit on a day-to-day basis, that shit don't mean nothing. But once we get in our own head, that shit start to affect us to a point where we don't even recognize ourselves.
That's right.
But man, what you just said though, bro, that shit was powerful. And just being in my position, I feel like, at a point in time, it will come to, me having to be vulnerable, to open up, to go and sit down with somebody to, express my feelings and my thought process, to, to see where I'm fucked up at. And we just, like you said, where we come from and how we look at things, where, we looked at, if you do, it's a weakness, you soft, you pussy, all that type of shit. But at the end of the day, man, the way that you said, nigga, I'm doing great, like, I could see that on your face, and I can believe it, considering when you talk to somebody and they bullshit, like, no, I'm doing good type shit. And in reality, they got a motherfucking Costco list of shit that they dealing with that got them fucked up. You feel me? So man, realistically, like, I appreciate you saying that shit, because it put me in a state of mind where, like, you know what, maybe this is something that I want to try though. You feel me? So hell yeah, I appreciate that, bro. On some solid shit, my boy.
No, I appreciate it, man. And I think, one of the things you'll find is like you end up talking yourself through your issues. Like it's to have that soundboard to give you some guidance, to help guide you here. And I think one of the funnest things, exercises that I've done in my life, like we go through all these exercises, and whether it's in basketball exercising, whether it's in school exercising, whether it's at your job or my job, these exercises that we have to go through. One of the best exercises that I've ever done in my life was like tracing something back through my life. Because it takes it and again, you have to be prepared for it because it can take you through some places that you like. Your smile is big as here, right? Like, wow, it just took me back to that moment. Like, that was incredible. But it can also take you to a moment that you didn't love. You know what I'm saying? That was like real dark for you, but that's a part of it. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of getting back to the root of this problem. So many things, like, it's no different than things that we deal in America, like, or things that you deal with over here. If I just fix what looks like the issue on the surface, there's still a problem underneath that's going to eventually, if there's mold up here and I take that thing off and replace it with a new cap because the new cap isn't molded. But if the mold is underneath, so then the top cap, then the top cap the new one just molds.
Sounds like Gavin's day job, Draymond.
Gavin has a tough day job that I don't want.
It sounds like your day job, Gavin.
So, I think doing that work, man, I think you'll find it enjoyable as you work through it. But like I said, not to be like I'm this advocate. It's just my personal journey, and I'm enjoying my journey.
Man, I appreciate you sharing that with us, family.
Big deal, brother.
Hey, Draymond, let me ask you a question. And I say this since you're so talented, bro. You got so many things you can do in your post-career. You obviously got a huge media career. You could go to the team side to be at ownership at some place and all that. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Because you got so many things in front of you can do. That's really cool. But, I mean, other than the media and owning a team or being a GM somewhere, whatever it may be, where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
Oh, man, that's an interesting one. I think well, number one, I think media as we've known it, it's going to change. And I want to spearhead that change. I think media as we've seen it on a daily for the last 20 years, nothing lasts forever. And I think a big change in media is coming. And like aside of social media has changed things. But I think a big change is coming in media, sports media. And I want to be a leader of an ushering that change in. I would love to be a part owner of a sports team. And I think for me, I don't just I've seen the part owner of a sports team thing. Like, if I'm going to be a part owner of a sports team, the reason I want to do that is because I see something special in that team, in that organization, in that owner of something. But more importantly, I see something that I can bring to that situation that can help that situation go further. I don't want to be the guy that's just you can plant some money. like that's great. And we're all looking for great investments, and there's no better investments in sports teams right now. But I want to help win. Sports is fun. But there's nothing like winning in sports. You talk about a feeling that that is hard to reproduce through anything else. Winning in sports, there's no better feling. And so for me, if I can be involved in team ownership, but involved in a way that I can help usher in some things from my perspective that I think can help win, that I'd love to do that. And by the way, I've been in it now for 13 years. I think I know the difference in being someone that can help win and being an owner that everybody's like, yo, get the hell away from me. Like, because we run into that too. And I think I can easily find the balance in that because I've been on the other side of it. Like I've been one of those players that's like, somebody see the owner of their team coming like, yo, if you don't keep him as far away from me as you possibly can.
And the scary thing, Draymond, as you know, is that there's more owners that you want to run away from than go to, which is scary. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hold on,
1,000%.
Real shit though, like you are like one of the faces of the new media type shit though, right? And what you got going on and what you proven that, you know what I mean, you could be successful in. Real talk, you can give Batman some advice because you feel me, like real talk, like you in the game. You feel what I'm talking about? You active in the game. And you got a show though. You feel what I'm talking about? Batman active governor right now. You feel what I'm talking about? Like when this motherfucker get up out of here, he gotta go, you know what I mean, back to the state cap, and he gotta go get back into governor mode. You know what I'm talking about? But he got a podcast that he rocking with right now. So realistically, like, you know what I mean, not just even from just the sports aspect, but I mean, you know, dog being a governor, politician and shit, and he active right now. Like you showed that it can be done, and now I don't know if you could say following the footsteps, but you could give bruh some ism on how, you know what I mean, how this shit can really work. Like, what would you tell Batman as far as like being active and what you got going on, and then also having the platform to go and speak, you know what I mean, to the public about what's really going on and how to balance that and how to actually make that shit successful. Because you really is in that position. Yeah.
That's a fact.
And winning in politics ain't bad. It ain't just sports either.
That's a fact. And winning in general is one of the better feelings. Sports is just what I do. But no, I think what I will say is this. Listen, we understand that when we put ourselves out here like this, and by the way, I respect you. Obviously, you know, I've had the utmost respect for you, but I respect you for putting yourself out like this. It's the exact reason why I've appreciated living in the state where you're the governor, is because you haven't hid from anything. And anything that's going on, you've been standing on the front lines and you've put yourself out there. And right now is like, I don't know the numbers, but my guess is that you're our first governor to do a podcast, and if not, you're by far the biggest to do it. So when I look at that, like, to put yourself out there in that manner, to me is admirable. And the reason that it's admirable is because most people, won't do it. But number two, when putting yourself out there to where someone could potentially pick at it, to where someone can potentially use it to try to tear you down. When doing something like that, for as big as the risk is as big as the reward is. And, you know, so for you to put yourself out there, the platform that you guys are going to build and have, there won't be a stronger platform than that. You know why? Because I know exactly where to go to hear what you have to say. And that platform becomes as important as ever. And you do whatever it is that you want to do with that platform. And for you and everything that you've done since I've known you, you're going to do good with that platform. People will tear it down. Like I said before, oh, you're the governor. You're not worried about this. You're not doing that thing. There's a crisis going on over here. You should be doing that. And it's like, well, quite frankly, I have a life. That is my job. I also have a team that, even if I'm sitting here doing my podcast, I have a team that's working.
Somebody working.
Right? It's like someone's work. Like I'm just not out here sitting down doing a pot and nothing's going on.
Shit
I
getting
also
done.
am not going to look at this sheet of paper for 24 hours a day, or look at this screen for 24 hours a day. And so the thing that I would just say most is like, embrace the good in it, embrace the failures, because you're going to say something that everybody's going to go crazy about. But by the way, you're going to say way more good things that everybody go crazy about than bad. But none of us say all great things to the one thing we say everybody don't try to pounce on. And the only thing I would say about those times is, like, in the good, in the bad, stand on each one of them. And I know you've done that in your career and how you've built to this point. But when it goes good, I'm going to stand right here in this pocket and I'm going to appreciate it. But I'm going to know that although it's going good, I got to keep working. And when it goes bad, I'm going to stand in this pocket, appreciate it, and work to make it better. Because when you're speaking this much, it's only a certain amount of time that you have before you say something that someone don't like. Oh, and by the way, if you're absolutely great, 50% of the people appreciate what you say, if you're the absolute best. So I would just say embrace it, stand on it, embrace the platform, dive into the platform, because the platform is powerful. The platform creates change, and that's what we're out here to do. And in order to build a platform that can do that is special.
I appreciate it. This conversation's been special. I've already effed up with. So what the hell? You didn't want me to say braggadocious? Jesus, I've already.
That shit is done.
Yeah, that ain't even right. But you know what? You know what is right? Everything about you, Draymond, man. Your leadership. You're all about accountability. You take responsibility. I mean, it's something we love about Marshawn as well. You guys are just remarkably authentic people. And this has been a hell of a conversation, illuminating and insightful. And I'll tell you what, that is deeply part of my day job as well, to have the gift of a platform where we can have these real and raw conversations and check each other and all the BS that's out there. So I really appreciate you being here. And Marshawn, I appreciate how you guys engaged and elevated this conversation a whole nother level.
It's all good, family.
No, Draymond, we love you, man. Like I said, I got one question for you, Draymond. I remember last question back in 2008. You fired your first agents. Remember? And I remember Lamar. Lamar coming to me and said, Jesus. "Hey, Draymond's going to leave his guys. And what do you think?" And correct me if I'm wrong. If you say the wrong thing, I'm not going to have a good day. Did I have a chance to represent you, even though I was a football guy, if I came at you?
Of course you had a chance. You just didn't do it.
Oh, God.
Of course you had a chance.
You just lost me, man.
But
I believe
you were so caught up in Marshawn and Lamar and Cam Jordan and Eric Hendricks and all of these guys. And I couldn't get the time of day. But you know what?
And you know what? That had me on the back burner the whole time. That ain't brown. God, bro.
Is that what this whole damn thing was about?
Yes, it's all about me.
Yeah,
no,
Draymond still trying to put his
damn agents.
his envelope in the hat, Doug.
There you go.
Get that shit up, bro.
That's over now, man. No, Draymond, we love you, bro. We love you, man. And have a great rest of summer and great season next year. And we'll see you soon.
All right, I appreciate y'all, fellas. Thank y'all for having me on. Really
okay,
appreciate
it, man. Okay.
Oh, God. Man, make sure you tell Miles out there what's happening. I'm going to hit her from my new jack, too, bruh.
Okay, bet that. I'll let her know.
Oh, God.
All right, appreciate y'all.
It was great, brother. Thank you.
All right, thank you. No problem.